So a while ago I ordered another Martini Henry from IMA. This is a Mark II short lever, and I'll be doing an unboxing of it. Show you guys what I get. Open this up. I just put a ton of popcorn in here, so I'm going to be dumping this out into a trash can real quick. So after the massive popcorn dump, there's quite a bit in there. This is what I ended up getting. It's pretty well wrapped. I like how they reinforced the front end, the butt, and as well as the receiver with some extra padding so it doesn't get damaged in shipping. So very carefully just kind of cut this away. Careful not to damage anything. I opted for the cleaned and complete. This is the first cleaned and complete rifle I bought from IMA. I would say if you're looking at getting one, you should definitely get one that's probably cleaned at this point just because of the pricing that they have now. So it looks pretty good so far, so go ahead and take a closer look. You can see some markings in the butt. A lot of them seem to be a little weaker. It looks like it's probably refinished, so. Looks like a small stock repair there. Interesting, they give me a checkered butt plate. Looks like a LSA model, 1877. I actually requested an LSA. That's pretty cool they're able to do that. Forestock looks pretty good. I mean, it almost looks like it's new. I mean, I'll be able to look obviously and see if there's any markings on the inside, but pretty good. Go ahead and take a look at the other side. There's that retaining screw. Some proof marks. There's a mark for use by the Nepalese forces. It's a native service mark, basically. Looks pretty good, and I took a peek down the bore, and it looks really nice as well. I'll get a photo of that for later. Looks like the cleaning rod's got a lot of pitting, but expected. I have another one I can put in there. I'll go ahead and take it apart, and I'll see how the internal parts look. But overall, it looks pretty good. Looks like it should probably be a pretty good shooter too. Stock looks like it's in great shape. I definitely recommend, I mean, just looking at this, if you do decide to get a Martini Henry from IMA, just to not bother with the process and just get it clean and complete. Just with the current prices as they are now, they've just gone up too high in my opinion for untouched, but it's up to you. I'll go ahead and keep working on this, and I'll do some videos as I go. So here are all the parts taken out. Look like they're still covered in some kind of cleaner, all the internal parts. So I'm going to wipe all this down and oil it. Just wanted to show you guys that it's basically still covered with whatever they cleaned it with. Taking a look under the barrel. Looks pretty good. Got the proof marks. Very minor pitting. This is the worst of it, and it's very minor. You can see that the underside of the barrel here looks pretty good. Bit of leftover rust, it looks like, in this area. Probably some wood dust too. So I got the stock bolt out. It was pretty pitted and rusted, so I just went ahead and I got a spare one, so I'm just going to throw this one in there. Since it's in much better condition, I'll just hold on to this one as a spare part if I ever need it. All the other parts look pretty good though. You can see they got some pretty nice markings on them. I did see something interesting about the trigger guard. You can see it has like an extra slot cut in here, and the spring here doesn't actually sit. Other parts look good, so I'm going to clean it up, wipe them down, and then reassemble it. Forestock looks good. I think this is actually a new stock. I don't see any markings in it, and it looks like these holes that were drilled don't look like any of the holes I've seen in any other stocks, and they're definitely larger than the screw heads. And you can kind of see how the nose cap fits. It's just very slightly off. So I'm assuming this is probably a new made stock. I don't think this is an original Martini Henry Forestock that they put on there. Also notice this cut right here is kind of a little crude. You can see it looks like they had to remove some of the wood. So at least it's not a crack. It just looks like it was done when the stock was fit. Some markings on the buttstock here in the back. Buttstock's definitely original. Don't believe the Forestock is. You can see there was a repair done right here with a wrist. And also here where there's probably a crack. So go ahead and put some linseed oil on this, clean it up a little bit. Turret is complete, so go ahead and take a closer look. Not much change with the buttstock. Markings are pretty faint. Linseed oil did bring out some more of the grain though. Receiver markings look pretty good. Pretty shallow. I heard that's pretty common with the LSA models. You can just barely make out the 1877 below it, as well as the crown above it. Put some chalk in there, but other than the ones you can see, they're pretty shallow, so it's hard to get any chalk in there. So I found out that this is in fact where the safety catch would go. It would actually slide in there, and the safety would go on the side of the receiver. And essentially, the way it would work is you would be able to activate the safety right here. So it's interesting that I got that type of trigger guard. I guess it was found on the Mark I rifles, and it was pretty rare. So not sure if that was the trigger guard that originally came with this weapon, or if it was one that IMA put in there. But it's definitely interesting to see that. Proof mark. Nice looking Forestock. It's got a good barrel too. Go ahead and flip it over. Good looking buttstock on this side too. Glad I replaced the stock bolt. It was pretty pitted and rusted out, so it's got a really good stock bolt in there now. Did notice this doesn't really quite line up. It's like a little too low. I would adjust it, but this hole's already been drilled, so I'm just going to leave it alone. So overall pretty good, I would say. If you're thinking about getting one that's clean and complete, it'd be worth the extra cost, especially at this point with how expensive they've gotten. Other than having to do a wipe down of the internal parts, as well as probably run a few patches through the bore, it's already going to be pretty clean and ready to shoot. As always with any antique weapon though, even if it's clean and complete, it doesn't hurt to get it checked out by a gunsmith to make sure that it's safe to shoot. If you like these videos, like to see more, feel free to like and subscribe.